Hey, couple of need to knows. Hopefully you heard on the weekend that we have several different missions teams we are sending and want to be praying over. 3 of them are coming from our TSM students. TSM going to the Dominican Republic and Royal Family Kids Camp and also Washington, D.C. We have a Habitat for Humanity team going to Taos to do some building there, which is wonderful. And then a couple that you may not have heard on the weekend, we have 2 different families care teams matching up with families in the community, vulnerable families coming alongside of them for the course of a year through Project 127. So we kind of consider all of those like we're launching and sending missions teams. If you know someone on those teams, be praying for them. Come alongside of them. Ask them what they need. How they can be prayed for. We're so excited to be sending those diverse ways. And then hopefully you know we are hiring for our worship position. So the job posting, the link for that is included in this email. So get that out there, share that on social media. If you know anybody, have a conversation with them. Pastor Brent.
Thanks, Pastor John. Appreciate it. Well, hello, Timberline Windsor. Thrilled to be with you this weekend. This particular weekend, we're stepping into chapter 5 of the Gospel of Mark. And we're looking at a story which is, if I'm honest, it's just a weird story. It's odd. It's a demon possession account in which Jesus has this interface with supernatural powers. And we kind of explore the story and look at it. Here are a couple questions after you've listened to the message that I would throw out to you and encourage you to engage with. So this is kind of a dark story. At least it starts that way. It doesn't end that way. Where Jesus engages with supernatural, intelligent, evil forces. And so here's an initial question that I would throw to you is, where do you believe that you've seen, maybe in our culture, supernatural, intelligent, evil forces at work? And then even secondly, a little more personal, have you ever seen supernatural, intelligent, evil forces at work in your own life? And then number 2, let me read you a quote by C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis writes this. He says that there are 2 equal and opposite errors into which we can fall about the devils. He means those supernatural, intelligent, evil forces. He says, one is to just disbelieve that they exist altogether. The other extreme is to believe and to feel an excessive and unhealthy interest in them. Very, very interesting. Those, kind of those 2 extremes there. Here's what I would throw out to you. Have a discussion about what's the danger with each one of those. What's the danger with saying there is no malevolent evil forces at all and to be naive? What's the danger with to have an almost excessive interest in them all together? And then maybe even plot yourself on the continuum. Where are you? Plot the church, in your view, on that continuum. Where do you think is the church? Plot our culture on that continuum. Number 3, third and last one, Matthew chapter 28, verse 18. Matthew 28 is the Great Commission. Jesus is, this is post-resurrection. He's sending his followers out into the nations, into the world. And in verse 18, he makes an interesting statement, interesting comment. He says, all authority, that's the key phrase, all authority, both in the heavenly realms, he says, and in this earthly realm, have been given to me, have been given to the person of Jesus. And he says, based on that reality, that truth, go into the nations and preach, teach them to obey. He says, make apprentices, make students, make disciples of all people groups. This is the Great Commission, bringing them into the family of God. Here's what I would be interested in you having a conversation about. Talk about this reality. according to Jesus, doing that is spiritual warfare because it's reclaiming. So think about this reality. Doing evangelism and discipleship equals spiritual warfare. It's not yelling at demons. It's speaking truth to lies. So have a conversation around that. What does that look like? What's God's calling on us? And what are some of your observations in that reality? I hope you guys have a great discussion and a great time together this week.